Good morning. It is Monday. I am
Yes, it is.
finally over walking pneumonia.
Oh,
I am no longer sick. I still got sinus crap, but I'm better.
well, good. My wife hates reveille.
What was that?
Huh?
What did you say?
I said my wife hates reveille.
I think most civilians do.
I love it.
But you're not a civilian.
Well, I know. Well, I am now, but you can take the man out of the military, but you can't take the military out of the man or person.
We are never, once we sign up, we are never civilians again.
Amen to that.
I've been doing a lot of different trainings and teachings and learning different alternative techniques like Hakalau and kinesiology and a lot of I've been working with people like in Australia, and with the election coming up tomorrow, they have been asking when is the stupid thing over, because they get more news coverage of our election here than they do their own election over there.
I noticed that. That's crazy.
I never realized that. I'm like, why do you care? They go, we don't. Two children constantly battling it out in arguments that are never going to win.
What, theirs or ours?
Ours.
No, ours is just a bunch of stupid people running around thinking they're politicians.
Well, the first step into being is thinking you are. So if you think hard enough, portray it hard enough, maybe someday you'll make it.
No. Yeah. I think, therefore I am, right?
Exactly. Fake it till you make it.
But unfortunately, with thinking supposed to come. That's a thing in the past.
The problem we're having, though, is that certain political attenders aren't thinking. And I'm talking more about the Harris Waltz thing. I've been watching these interviews and still trying to figure out how she became a prosecutor because she can't talk.
She became prosecuted by that guy out in California.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I'm not even sorry, but I cannot vote for a coward.
No. Only high point would have been, and I hate to say this, is that we would get rid of them in our own state. Because Walt has not done anything real well for Minnesota. But, I don't want to punish the country either.
He's not going to come back to Wisconsin or
Minnesota? Yeah, he is. He never officially stepped down.
No.
Yeah.
Well, who took over? Who's the governor?
The lieutenant governor is temporarily taking his place, but he never officially resigned as governor.
He never does anything officially full correct.
No. What bugs me the most about it, okay, so during Vietnam, Trump waivers to go to college instead of fight. And they called him a draft dodger and everything else.
Yeah, but he didn't go to Canada.
But he didn't go to Canada. But Walsh, instead of deploying, and it wasn't like it was last minute notice, you knew you were deploying, he decides to hypothetically decide to do a government position and run for office or build the momentum to run for office, because he wasn't even running for office then, and decide to retire and avoid deployment.
Yeah.
How is that not dodging?
Not according to the Democrats, but that's neither here nor there. I'm not here to browbeat anybody. I just want to know what they see whenever they say they're going to vote for him. That's all.
Me too. Because most of Minnesota's not.
Everybody's allowed to have their opinion, but according to Harris and Walsh, they want to take your freedom of speech away. So,
that's the one thing that I am so tired of, this rhetoric, because, like, they're talking about how Trump's going to ban abortion. Okay.
No, he's not.
But he can't. One, he has no intention of it, but that was the whole point of him washing his hands of the situation. The one thing that Trump does since shit hit the fan with COVID is he leaves the power up to the states. So it got put to he can't do anything because he sends it to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court rules it's the state's power, not the government's power. We're listening to all this rhetoric about, both sides, but we're not looking at, laws and regulations and constitutions.
Right.
Yeah, you can tighten it up a little bit, but you can't take it away. It's a constitutional amendment.
Well, they want to try and get rid of the First Amendment and Second Amendment.
And the only way you can do that, well, I don't even know if you can get rid of the original amendments, but the only way you can do that is you have to, each state has to vote, ratify it, then it has to go to House and Senate, and it has to be a big majority vote. It's not where it's just that they can write an executive order on that.
Well, they think they can.
Now, that's kind of the insane part about how there's so much garbage being spilled and fear-mongering, and that's the part that drives me nuts the most.
Yeah. Me too. Well, the Democrats, whenever they call me, they say, who are you going to vote for? I say, Trump. And then whenever the Republicans call, they say, who are you going to vote for? I said, Harris.
Yeah. There's a lot of that going on. There's a big news article about that. People are just fucking with the system because they can, for one. So any poll you see is going to be inaccurate.
Yeah. I don't even pay any attention to the polls because they're all communist run. CNN, the Communist News Network.
I just want to get back to actual news and hearing, but the thing is, even that, like, my biggest problem is, like, here in Minnesota, we have such a high crime rate with children. And I was talking to other places, like in Australia, and they have the same problem. And a lot of these gangs and different things are recruiting kids. But like here, we have such a high crime rate with carjackings and things like that with 6, 7, 8, 9-year-olds. And the big thing is because they get in trouble. When we were kids, we went to juvies, we got in trouble.
Yep.
But now their brains aren't fully formed, so they're not accountable for their actions, and they get sent home. And my problem is where are the parents? Do you not know your kid's not home at 10 o'clock at night, at 1 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, there used to be a commercial that said, "Do you know where your children are?" That was back in the 60s. Late 60s,
they had that
early
in the
70s.
80s. There was that in the 80s growing up.
10 o'clock rolled around, they said,
yeah.
"Do you know where your children are?"
That, and it was the reminder that TVs were not babysitters.
Yeah. Now it's all the games and everything.
Yeah, all the electronics.
Yep.
You know what they're finding out, too, is that because of that, people being glued to their screens, if it's a computer or a tablet or a phone, we're actually deforming our necks. Because we're putting that extra stress on our necks because our heads are heavy.
Yeah. Our heads are about the weight of a 16-pound bowling ball.
And we're developing that hunch. We're all becoming natural hunchbacks. Because of it.
Yeah. Health is going downhill and everything else. You can't tell them anything. They know everything. When my son was growing up, he said, "Dad, you don't know anything." I said, "Okay, why don't you move out while you still know everything?" He went in the Navy and got an eye opening. So yeah, but a lot of military guys aren't go into the military because the government doesn't back them.
We've talked about that in our house. My kids aren't quite old enough to enlist yet, but people have asked me if I want to enlist, and I go, it only depends on who the president is. Right now, I wouldn't want my kids in there. Because, we're getting rid of so much of the training that is crucial for us to be able to mentally deal with the situations that arise. There's no more shark attacks. There's no more, breaking down and building up, which is, one, teaches you, all about being a team and working together, but also gives you that tool to be able to persevere.
Yeah.
And we're no longer a team. We're an individual in a team.
Unit. Yeah, we're an individual unit.
So all the things that made us great, we're getting rid of.
Yeah, it's being tossed on the dung heap. So, I don't know.
Yeah, our recruitment's at an all-time low ever. And now they're opening it up for individuals that were disqualified out of desperation.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was reading an article about that, and they were saying that, people who are disqualified because of ADHD or ADD and things like that, it's not that you were disqualified because of the label. You were disqualified because of the meds. You have to be off the meds and be able to adapt without medications for a period of time before you can enlist.
Right.
Kids in these generations are not taught that. It's like the minute they can't pay attention, they're on a drug.
Mm-hmm. Mm. I don't know. Sometimes it just makes you want to take a heat seeker, you know?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
But it's the easy button, and it's the easy button for parents.
Yeah.
Instead of having to learn how to work with them and deal with them and actually parent them, you give them a drug and it pacifies them. I was at Walmart yesterday I buy melatonin. My kids get it if they don't go to sleep. And by don't go to sleep, I mean it's like 1 o'clock in the morning and they're still bouncing around.
Mm-hmm.
But they still get like a baby dose. They don't even get anything close to the actual dosage that's recommended for their age, size, and weight.
Mm-hmm.
And they now sell newborn melatonin.
No, for the love of Pete.
I'm like, it blew my mind looking at it. I'm like, so we're not even teaching our kids sleep habits. We're letting them, naturally learn. We're just instantly drugging them because they wake up. Even though babies wake up for two things: hungry or they need a diaper change.
Because they're in pain. So we're just letting them go off the reservation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a whole lot. Now you got said. I think we're all going about half batty.
We're going to hell in a handbasket.
No, we're already there. I don't think I can go to hell. You know why?
We live there now.
One, I've already been there, and two, Satan already has a restraining order against me.
I like that.
It's not up yet.
There we go.
So, how was your week?
It was very interesting. So I've been learning different techniques like NLP.
That's what you were saying.
Timeline therapy, kinesiology, and energy dynamics. And so some of you know this, some of you don't. Due to my circumstances and what I dealt with, pre-military, military, out of military, I could not stand the smell of smoke. That has always been my trigger. And so, like, I can tell you where a fire is burning miles away. I can smell it. And I can tell you what's burning, which has saved our house a couple times because we've had a couple fires in our house. But I've been working with Conscious Mastery Academy, which is a phenomenal school, and we're actually creating 2 separate programs, one for neurodiversity, primarily for children, to help slow the mind down, build different programs to teach kids how to overcome and deal with environments, regulation techniques, things like that. But also we're building programs for veterans and helping with PTSD. You know, so many civilians, you know, they talk about, you know, let's help you and help the veterans. And we're going to do talk therapy. We're going to give you all these drugs and then do talk therapy. The problem with talk therapy is it focuses on the problems only. And you have to talk about the problems. Where these older techniques, it's not important for you to talk about them. It's important for you to put the pieces together and do it in a safe way that you don't have to relive them. And understanding what your body's feeling. It is, but you're doing it from a distance. So, like, we use timeline therapy along with hypnotherapy, and instead of being in the event, we do it as looking at the event from above the event or as a black and white movie. To see it from a third-party perspective to help you understand the actual event. And then what we do is we use anchoring techniques to help with the triggers. You know, a lot of people tell you, well, you know, we're at that constant state of alert all the time. And we need to get rid of that. Well, I've spent a week playing with that theory of what happens when you get rid of that alert. And a lot of us, we've had that high state of alert for so long, it's like a natural part of our bodies. It's who we are. And when you get rid of it, it's like a piece of you is missing.
Yeah.
So what we've been doing, and I've been the guinea pig of the deal, me and this other gentleman who is retired law enforcement. And creating a button or a switch so that for people who have that high state of alert can be a trigger, you can turn it down. And when you need it or want it higher for whatever reason, like for instance, I like having my attention to detail and high state of alert because I know where my kids are. You can turn it off.
Sort of like a dimmer switch.
Exactly.
Yeah, I get it.
And it's been interesting because using different anchoring techniques and energy work. Like the kids have had bonfires with Dad outside in the yard all weekend, and it didn't bother me at all. So we're going to be running a trial period of setting it up for individuals to as guinea pigs to see how well it works on others. And then I've been working with a lot of different pressure points. It's kind of like acupuncture but instead of the needles, you're doing actual tapping work, EFT,
Mm-hmm.
to help eliminate pain and things like that.
Right.
And open up different parts of your body, and it's been, really an interesting journey.
Yeah, you you tap on your wrist, tap on your hand, tap on your forehead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Just want to make sure I was
yep,
following correctly.
Yeah, there's different points for different things, and we go into it in a deeper level too. Like your collarbone is like your center.
Mm-hmm.
It's like your go-to button. And it helps, eliminate different things and doing different rubbing techniques. Like, think back when you're a kid, how you'd rub your baby's back and you'd rub side to side to go to sleep. It was something you've been taught by your parents, and it's something that you're always taught. That is a natural sedation. That actually puts you to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to rubbing up and down wakes you up and helps eliminate pressure points in your back. But what's really cool to me is like these ancient studies and these ancient histories, we're now proving them to be correct and right.
Yeah.
And now they're being more widely accepted.
You been getting any feedback from anybody else? I mean, from people listening or anything?
No, not yet, but this is the first show I've done in like a month because I've just been too sick to do a show.
Yeah, I know. I was wondering what happened the last couple of times, and next week, okay, I just want to tell you, next week I go in for surgery, so on Monday.
Okay.
Surgery on Veterans Day. How poetic.
You going to the VA?
Nope.
Then you're good. So then the Monday you come back, so Veterans Week, we always do specials all week long.
So next
in
week
honor of Veterans Day.
Right. So there's going to be special programs next week, right? All next
Correct.
week.
All next week will be special programming with different stories from veterans, and then we'll follow it through and do your show on Monday. I do have some sad news. So Peter, I'm drawing a blank. Oh my God. So he's been a regular guest on our show, and he ended up passing away. He was part of the Kinder Train and things like that, so they're going to be doing an honor to him. And then Intiva Health. It's talked a lot about the show, but we're going to get the vice president of that organization, which was created by a Marine. And it's Intiva Health is a one-stop shop for medical professionals and civilians to get all the latest up-to-date research. So help medical professionals who are struggling to get their licensing approved push it through faster. And one of the other things they do is like military personnel who've had training in different fields in the medical field, help them get the right credits they need to transfer their licensing over. They are the largest organization that supplies gummy vitamins and supplements. They're just opening a brand new warehouse and manufacturing plant down in South Carolina, I believe.
Wow. Nice.
And they're I'm in talks with them to meet them and work with them. They're actually a big part of Len Kane promotes them and helps sponsor some of the stuff they do, and a big part of it along with the Hope Collection.
Interesting.
But one of the guests that I'm working on getting on the show next week is actually a World War II survivor from Germany who survived one of the concentration camps.
Mm-hmm. Was he on before?
This one wasn't.
Oh, okay.
Peter was on before. He was a survivor. And we had another gentleman that was. This one wants to speak out for the sole purpose of how we are forgetting our history. And he's very, very upset about how they keep referring to Trump as Hitler.
As Hitler, yeah. Yeah, they don't know what they're talking about.
And he wants people to hear and understand really what Hitler did.
That's going to be deep.
And another gentleman we're going to get on, depending on the results of tomorrow, depends on if he's going to be state representative or just retired Air Force section. He's a dear friend of mine that I met running for office here in Minnesota, and he was part of Special Forces in the Air Force.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
And so he's going to jump on and talk about, veteran services and how there's a lot of different things coming into work for veterans housing and things like that.
Mm-hmm. So he doesn't have to embellish what he did.
No. That's the best part. And is that, a lot of his stories, he doesn't talk about it as much because he wants to focus so much on helping those that can't help themselves.
Yeah, I understand.
But he wants people to understand, too. I mean, we had a situation here, stay homeless veterans. And the rich people in our community objected to it because it's unseemly or unkemply or whatever you want to call it. A gentleman served, and he came here with his girlfriend. His girlfriend ended up dying and ended up homeless. But due to his own traumas and things that he dealt with, he decided he would rather live in a tent. And he's happy, he's fine, he's content. He goes to the church, takes showers, he's looking for a job, but because he did get in trouble back when he first got out for, I think, bouncing checks or something. It wasn't something bad, hugely wrong, it was just something bad. He has a hard time finding a job.
Mm-hmm.
And so the law enforcement community out here goes and checks on him. He's, and people donate, to help him out. But, that's the one thing that, we're working on with veterans housing is setting up veterans housing that's going to work for them individuals.
Mm-hmm.
So many civilians that it drives me nuts. They're talking about, taking an old prison that was shut down and turning it into apartments and housing for veterans.
Yeah, I've heard that.
My question is, would you want to live there? It's a prison. Would you want to live there? It could be the best house in the world. I don't care. It's still a prison. No, the only way we're going to fix the homeless situation is fixing the situations with the military to begin with.
Yes.
You know, we need to make sure that they get their benefits and not wait for 20, 30, 40 years to get them. You know, making sure that when they're discharged, they have a place to go and that they're set up. And they're given all the tools they need. Not just to boot out the gate the day you sign your papers.
That's for sure, because whenever I got out, nobody told me anything about the VA. They didn't tell me squat.
No. Neither did I.
No, they didn't even tell me that.
No, they just said, here you go, bye. Have a good life.
Hasta la vista, pal.
That's it. You know, and the VA only covers combat-related injuries, unless you're 100% disabled. They don't even tell you that. You know, like your insurance policies that you get. You know, you're not taught how you have to, you know, keep paying into them to keep them. If you get the bigger plans, so just the basic, you know, life insurance policy.
So, yeah.
Once the ties are cut, you're screwed.
You're done. Yep. It's sort of
and
like,
that's where we,
know, huh?
Well, and that's where we get screwed. That's where we get stuck. It's like, what do we do? Especially career, you know, like I try to get people to understand this. And I'm thankful that like our electric company and our gas company understood this when I first got out, because I went in as a kid. So, and I had well water growing up, so we never had a water bill. You know, I forget to pay the bills because it wasn't something that I got ingrained in my mind as an adult because I never had it.
It wasn't a priority.
I didn't have any. The military didn't pay, you know, took care of everything.
Right.
You know, you don't have a credit score because you don't have bills. You don't have loans. You don't have payments. You don't have nothing. A lot of loan companies now have a special box for you to check that says you're a military, because otherwise you're a risk for getting a loan because you don't live in one place for very long. You're always moving.
Mhm.
You know, the whole process needs to be adjusted and changed.
Yeah, it's a lot deeper than what.
Well, one, we need to stop having civilians in charge of it and have it run by. I mean, it's like the VA. 90% of our VAs are ran by civilians.
Yeah. Yeah. And then they read over the your claim, and they don't understand it, so they deny it. No, it's not military related. There was a guy, I was talking to a guy down at the VA a couple of months ago, down in Martinsburg, West Virginia. And he was in a wheelchair. And he said, you know, whenever came in here, they had me at 100%. And then my leg, they had to go into operation, and so they took his leg. You know what they cut him back to?
Probably 50%.
60%. Then it took him 2 to 3 years to finally get back up to 100%. And he's still in a wheelchair.
I see they're back to recutting. And a lot of times we have to pay for our own prosthetics.
Yeah.
That's why there's a company here in Minnesota. They exclusively donate prosthetics, custom make them. It's really cool. They use 3D printing to create prosthetics for veterans in the VAs, making sure that everybody gets what they need. And they're custom made through 3D printing, so they're guaranteed to fit.
Wow.
Properly.
Yeah, they're not like before.
So how many times did you have to put how many socks on there just to make sure it's comfortable?
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of the veterans still have to do that.
You know, and that's the one thing I don't get. In our day and age, the miraculous world of technology we live in, our prosthetics haven't really changed much since they were invented.
Nope.
The money, or you've got the celebrity to endorse it and pay for it for you, you get a basic wooden leg.
Or metal. Metal costs more.
Yeah.
And usually the officers get those.
Yeah.
I'm glad I don't have to have it, so I'm not belittling that aspect of it. I'm just fortunate enough that I didn't need any. And I still am. So, yeah, I'll be tuning in probably next week, here and there.
So, question for you before we go.
There's an answer.
What do you think of the Menendez brothers getting out?
I ain't even going there.
It's all going to depend on the election.
Yep, there's a lot of things going to be dependent on the election, and I'm not going there. I just don't see what people really see in it. Because everybody's just tired of the rhetoric bullshit.
Oh, I completely agree.
I mean, we get flyers from Republicans and Democrats saying this candidate here is this and this candidate here is that, and every time I open up the mailbox, I go, nah, more bullshit. And just right into the trash it goes. I don't even bother looking at them.
Thankful, and that's like one of the best parts of living in a small town is we don't get all that crap.
Well, we live in a small town, but we still get big one stuff.
Yeah, we don't. I don't get any of that in our house.
Good. Maybe I'll move out there.
Yeah, you're more than welcome to.
No, Dingling's coming back. He couldn't even load a shotgun. I don't think he knew which end of the shell to put in. So, that's neither here nor there, but people that are going to vote for him, I wonder. America's IQ has dropped significantly. I can't talk either.
Yeah. So I'm going to send you a picture later. So
Okay.
one of the struggles that we struggle with as a veteran is figuring out who you are. A lot of us have that identity issue. I was one of those. I am one of those.
I'm still having that problem.
Exactly. So, everyone asks, well, what do you like? I don't know. So I've been struggling with that concept of what do I like? When it comes to clothes or hair or, in general, what do I like? And so I have come up with a new philosophy. How do I know what I like if I don't know what I don't like?
All right. One way to look at it.
So now I'm in this trend of doing all the things that I wanted to do when I was young, but I couldn't do it because of being in the military.
Mm-hmm.
So my hair is now colored full with some blue and pink in it. Actually, it looks pretty cool.
I was going to say, as soon as you said my hair's colored, I was just getting ready to say, I bet it's purple.
Well, I started out with a sapphire color, and then I went to change it to pink,
and
it ended up with purple in it. So it turned out pretty cool.
I was going to say, how'd that work for you?
Pretty good, actually.
I bet you it looks good.
I was surprised. I was a little worried. I had the spare bottle of bleach right there, color stripper to fix if it turned out really horrid. Still gotta, work it for business and still look presentable.
Maybe I ought to do that to me. That'd be something.
There you go.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Trying all these different things and just being out there I figured if I focus so much on my hair color and what I look like with my hair, you're focusing on my hair color and not what I'm saying. So it'll help me make my videos better so that I can not be so subconscious about what I'm saying.
I hear you. Yeah.
It's a theory I'm running with this week.
Well, don't trip and fall.
Start putting myself out there more.
Yeah, there you go.
Kidding me? I have a hard enough time not tripping and falling over my own 2 feet some days.
It's not my feet to get me in trouble. Me tripping over my tongue.
Oh, I always do, but that's okay. I have the disclaimer, I'm German, Irish, ex-military.
And that's your excuse and you're sticking by it.
It is. The filter gets busted. It's just how it is. I don't always have patience for lazy and stupid.
I hear that.
My daughter's learning that one. She has been developing the I'm a girl thing, and it's driving me nuts.
Uh-oh.
If she doesn't want to do something, she will whine and cry to try to get out of it.
It's only somebody I know.
And speaking of which, so coming up into Veterans Day, Alignable is doing a whole thing of networking for and honoring veterans and their families. And any crafters that are out there, there is a new TV channel on the Roku, which coming up the first of the year, all the pieces are going to be in place finally to launch Optimize My Life on the Roku. So our channel will not just be live on the radio, but we'll be live on TV too.
Oh, man, nice.
And we'll have a whole bunch of different shows for veterans and families and all of our different programming, plus so much more. But they are looking to house veterans and families of veterans that craft to highlight their work. And they'll be on the show next week.
Awesome. Things are coming together.
Slowly and steady.
That's the best kind.
Mm-hmm.
If it comes too fast, then it'll end just as fast. So that's awesome.
When
Anybody
it goes
have
too fast, you fall on your butt. When it goes too fast, you fail and fall on your butt.
Yeah, but at least it's padded back there.
Haha. More than we want sometimes.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. You're not wrong there. So you are getting feedback on what everybody's listening to, right?
Yes.
Good. Okay. So what are they saying about
that they love
this show?
About this show?
Mm-hmm.
Is they want to hear more discussions on different things that upcoming events, different things that we're talking about, and they want us to bring back the faith aspect of things.
The who?
Faith. Bring back more talking about faith.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. After all, it is Reveille, so we need to wake up the spirit.
That's right.
So, all right, that's what we need to know. I mean, we can do that, right?
Mhm.
All right. Sounds like a plan.
You know, the cool part is, and this is what I love, is that, all of our shows is all based on listeners. And so we adjust everything based on your input.
Yes. And we're always allowed to agree to disagree.
That's it. When we talk about faith, I want to add in not just traditional Christian faith. And, I want to add in some of the, Hawaiian faith and all these different Chinese cultures and all these different cultures into faith as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's so much cool different parts of the faith with the mind-body connections and stuff like that that have been around for centuries.
Yep. Oh, yeah. So maybe we can do that on the Monday I come back.
Yes. I'll send you some stuff.
Okay.
That I've been studying, like the ancient wisdom of the Hawaiian. And see what you think and how it's kind of interesting. So we are out of time for today.
Yay. Be thinking of me next Monday?
Yes, sir.
It's an outpatient surgery, so
well, it'll be the Monday you come back.
The 18th.
Yes. We'll start the Monday you come back.
I'll be back the 18th. Yep.
So then as you're lying in recovery, you can read over all the information.
Yeah, okay. You got it.
Give you something to do.
Yeah, I'll look at it through my eyelids coming out of anesthesia.
Well, I meant, when you're supposed to be taking it easy for the couple days after surgery that we know you're not going to do. This will give you something to do to take it easy.
Well, I'll see what I can't do.
I caught that. How about you try not doing it?
Uh-huh.
All righty. So everybody have a good day, have a good night, and starting next week is our Veterans Week. And it'll bleed into the following week, and we're going to highlight everybody who's done something to make the world a better place. And it doesn't matter if you were special forces and jumping out of helicopters and fighting Hussein, or if you were just a National Guard member doing things here to help families and donating your time at Salvation Army. We want to hear all your stories.
Yes.
So have a good day, have a good night, and we'll see you back here next week.
Oh,
or the week. I'm sorry, the week after that. Sorry.
The 18th.
Yes, sir.
Sounds good
Bye
to me.
for now. All righty.
Have a good one.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.